Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Monifactory. Alright, so here we are today, episode 39. Last episode we had just finished off making the tier 2 microminer, and today we're going to continue on that, and we're going to get into making the quantum flux so that we can send off a ship to get radon to get into EV machines. So, I made the autoclave off camera that we're going to be needing to make the, I think it was the quantum flux. So let's get that going here. So we need our cutting knife. There you are. HV autoclave. Cool. Okay, so make sure that. Just to make sure, I don't think we need fluid output, but that's the case. Okay, so it was the infused crystal, I believe. Yes, the diamond and the redstone to make the crystal. Auto clave. So let's get one of those made up. And that will take about 10 seconds. Now with this bad boy, basic will do fine. We can also send off for solidified items. Oh, that is nice. I like that. But yeah, we're going to need the salt here. So to process this salt, we're going to need an EV electrolyzer, which I don't imagine this will be that expensive. Nah, it'll be fine. But we are going to need a 4 amp or possibly 16 amp converter. So we'll have to get that too. You know what? Screw that. We don't need to worry about that one. Okay. So with the crystal, I'm pretty sure we have a mixer, so I don't need to worry about that. HV mix. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So flux, so put that away. Now take, well, about 5 seconds, give or take. There we go. Quantum flux, baby. Okay. So we'll just need to send this off with 12 buckets of rocket fuel. And I don't know, I think, what room did I put it in? That's down here. I think the input hatch here, oh, it doesn't have anything in there. Okay, so let me get a face going on there. And I'm pretty sure it's going to need power. Oop, hello. So we're going to need HV energy hatches. So I'm fairly sure it needs EV. There's that. Where is the freaking ding dang energy hatch? There it is. Okay, so while that crafts conduit. I don't remember how much of the setup for this I had done when I... Yeah, okay, nothing. Okay, so let's get down here. Let's tear out these walls. Okay, so where did I put those hatches? Okay, so we are going to need to swap these out anyway. Looks like we need to knock that down. Okay, so we are going to need the cables as well. So let me get over here to a terminal. So grab 2 of those. Hatches are still being cooked up, but we should have the converter here. So let's see. Let me pause here. I'll be back when this is done. Okie dokie, we're back. So I have the HV output bus here because the ship mission that we're going to be sending out has a return of 14 items here. So we want to make sure that we can collect them all. And this should be running on EV. Okay, so the input bus is here. The input hatch is all good to go. Let's check one more time. Okay, so just the ship and boom. So that is going to take 30 seconds using only 1000 EU per tick. And it has all those outputs in the terminal. I love that. Okay, so the Radon Salt is what we're after right now. And I could probably get to processing the tungstate and the chelate. Could pop that into our ore processing unit. So the tungstate would probably be best used, I guess, in the thermal centrifuge. We get silver. And the chelate will give us molybdenum with the thermal centrifuge, a better chance of it anyway. Yeah, so these will probably both go into the thermal centrifuge. So that's done now. Let's go and pick up our salt. Radon Salt. There we go. It's so nice. It's epic. It has purple text. Well, bright purple anyway. Let's go ahead and put that there. Can we get this thing centered? Okay. So with the Radon Salt, we are going to be wanting a electrolyzer on the EV tier. So let's get that pattern going, shall we? So we're going to need the EV universal circuit. Should have everything there, but if not, we'll get that remediated in a minute. Okay, platinum wire. I could have sworn we'd done platinum at some point, but maybe it was something different. Wire. There we go. All right, one more time. There we go. So with the electrolyzer, we're going to need 2048 wiring, which means we're going to need end steel. So I'm going to grab myself a 16 wire pattern. Get that going. We're going to want 4 of those. We're also going to want to get a converter going. There's 8, there's 16. So we're going to need aluminum and red alloy. Imagine we don't have those yet, but let's find out. So 16. Okay, we need aluminium coated. And that's it. Aluminium. We're eventually going to want to get into the Styrene Butadiene. So that's probably something I'll be tackling very soon. Cable. Okay, hopefully that's all I need. Nope, I need the wire. Should have seen that coming. Okay, so let me get this requested and I'll take a look at the Styrene Butadiene. So, there you are. Okay, so that's going. All right, so Styrene Butadiene. Already it sounds pretty simple from what I can imagine. Wait, that's not it. Liquid Styrene Butadiene. Oh, that's a dust. Never mind. So we gotta make dust first. And we're still gonna need sulfur. Great. Okay, so oxygen gas. Wow, you get a lot of rubber. Wow, you get a lot of dust here. Butadiene, styrene, and oxygen gas in a LCR. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. So if we use oxygen gas, we get twice as much. Well, most kind of. Styrene and butadiene. We should have easily both of these things, I think. Okay. I thought we had all this styrene. Oh, ethyl benzene. Easy. So the ethyl benzene can be processed into the styrene. So the question is, do we want to auto stock this or not? Because if we auto stock it, we can just have this recipe in the LCR and then this with the LCR again and get rubber that way. So you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to passive the styrene. So let's get a MV chemical reactor going. So we're going to need a regulator. We're going to need a face. And we're going to need a filter. Okay, so what is taking these things so long? Looks like the end steel. Okay, so let's go get this done while we wait for that. And I might need a pause for that to finish up too. But we'll see. Well, that's one thing I forgot to talk about. I did kind of talk about last episode, but I did go and mine for neodymium, right? And I have this setup here where it takes rare earth, right? So if you take rare earth and centrifuge it, you're going to get things like cadmium, neodymium, samarium, lanthanum, yttrium, and cerium. And we're going to need all of these in due time. The rare earth comes from processing things like neodymium, bastnasite, monazite, redstone even, and darmstadtite. Right? So once we centrifuge that, I send it up into here, and then I just send it into here, a packer, which will turn it into the bigger form and spit it back out into our system. Okay, so do I not have a free slot? I feel like I removed one of my machines. Ah, here's one. Okay, so we're going to need a regulator. We're going to come over here, and we're going to say import ethyl benzene. Right, so the ethyl benzene will be reactored until we get styrene, and it'll probably only stock like 32 buckets or so of styrene. So ethyl benzene. So we're going to get hydrogen gas back, which is great. Oop. Oh, there we go. There we go. So that should be spitting back out. So let me pause this for a minute. We're going to get a controller and emitter. Looks like our electrolyzer is done, but we're going to need the power converter first. So no big deal, no big deal. Let's come back over here. And I just realized the styrene probably isn't going into our system anyway because we don't have the cell for it yet. Okay, so styrene. And we're going to say, I don't know, let's go with 64 buckets. Why not? Okay, so that should be filling up. It's going to run out of space, which is good for our needs right now. Let's come over here. We're going to grab a fluid cell and we're going to process this up to hold the styrene and the butadiene fluid as well. So that's going to take a minute or two. So, speculating, pausing here. Let me go ahead and do that. I'll pause and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. So I set up the 1K fluid cell to hold styrene, as you can see we have in our system. Now all we need to do is get into making the liquid styrene butadiene rubber. Right, and for that we're going to need an LCR recipe with the oxygen, styrene, and the butadiene rubber. In the chemical reactor there. So let's get that pattern. And then that pattern. So LCR. And we're going to need to make a pattern booster for that. So while that crafts up, let's go set up the EV tower that I just got cooked. And I guess we'll put it over here. Okay, so space, machine, middle. There we go. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so put that there. That should be good to go there. And I should have some cables still. Okay. So the electrolyzer, if we put the salt in there, we get the radon gas and we get rock salt. So let's go ahead and put that in. It's going to start cooking. We are going to need to get an interface. And there's that. So let's pop over to the LCR real quick. This is the big block, so this should be simpler. Should be good to go. Yep. All right. Put that there. And let's request Styrene Butadiene. So that still takes some time to make, but we could probably overclock this, honestly. Get it up to EV, and that will be down to 12 seconds. So the styrene. Oh, it's probably making the fluid now. There we go. So there we go. Liquid styrene butadiene rubber. There was no quest for that yet, or I didn't get credit just yet. But let's put that away for now. Actually, I will have this as a candidate for the thumbnail. All right, let's go back. And I will probably get the patterns moved over to the styrene butadiene because it takes considerably less. If you look at nickel cable, for example, that's 36 millibuckets for that, and 4 times as much with liquid rubber. Okay, so we got the pattern thing done. We need... Oh, here's the interface. And ARM. Let's get a couple of these. And we'll want to filter, because whenever we're inserting and inserting and extracting on the same side of the machine, you want to make sure that you filter what can go in and not, yeah, what can go in, essentially, because otherwise the output sometimes will become the input for whatever reason. I mean, that's taking its sweet time. So while that cooks, there's that to grab. We'll be getting this in a second, and then we'll get this, but we also need to grab a machine hole, and then we'll try to work on carbon fibers. So with the carbon fiber quest, we're going to be needing the polytetrafluoroethylene, or polyethylene, or epoxy even, and eventually PBI. Epoxy will probably be better, considering it's 4 of them. And I should have epoxy on autocraft, yeah. Okay, so let's get that carbon fiber recipe set up while we're here. So it's going to be carbon dust with the liquid epoxy. And that was an HV autoclave. Okay. Fiber. Oop. Well, there's the arm. There's the fiber. Oh, and there we go. Carbon fibers. This is going to be used for the Nano CPUs coming up. All right, let's get rid of that. Okay, where did that robot arm get to? There you are. Come back. Oh, how'd you get there? I knew the tower felt a little short. There we go. I will get electric tools at one point. Okay. Oh, I thought I had cable on me every freaking time. Unless I don't have to go to... Oh, I did have it on me. I'm just blind as fuck. Shit. Damn it. Anyway. Okay, so there's that. Let's get that in there. There we go. So that should, yeah. Import. Okay, so now we need to get a cell for the radon. So I'm also going to need to output, and there go. So that's going to have the radon in there. So let's shimmy on over. Oops. Grab another fluid cell. So the radon, quantum I. Radon will be needing a chemical bath. I think we have an HV one, but I'm not sure. Let me get the quantum I, which is going to be used for a couple things. A gemstone sensor, which will be sent off with ships. HV field gen, emitters, sensors, mega components. You get the idea. Okay, so let's take this, pop over here. Radon you go. And we'll pop over here. Put you, there we go. Put you in there. Let's fall over here. I can't tell if the front row, yeah, I think the front row is what shows on the thing here. Okay, so, well, the left side is the front and the right is the back, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So we should have radon now in our system. Good, good. So quantum I will go in a chemical bath, but they're I a vendor. And do we not show all pattern providers? I have it automated. Did I call it something? Ah, there we go. I think this is what we need, but let's double check. Yeah, okay, that is the bath. So let me rename this. So HV bath. Okay. So come back over here. There we go. So I will request up an I. And I forgot to use this filter. Wait, do I even need the... Yeah, I do actually. Because this is spitting out rock salt. There we go. Okay. So that should be fine now. And there we go. There's our quantum I. Oh, I need to grab a bucket of radon too. There we go. Okay. Grab those quests. Oh, get that hole. There we go. Okay. So there's the Nano CPU chip. What is this going to entail? So we're going to need a HV cutter, and I think we have one actually. But the CPU itself, oh yes, this is why I needed the clean room to have EV support. Because we're going to need a chemical reactor, and we're going to need to use a CPU wafer with glowstone, which I think I set this up already, with the carbon fibers, and we get the wafer that way. Do I have the rack? I did automate the reactor, but didn't set up these two recipes. So is there a reason why I didn't set this up? Okay, it does need an HV polarizer, so that makes sense. So there's that. I guess I was thinking ahead, and I am just now realizing that I didn't continue for the sake of the episode. Okay, so HV polarizer. Okay. There we go. So with that in mind, we're going to want to, wrong terminal, we're going to want to come in here, move those up into here, and we'll get rid of this eventually. So magnetic neo. I think I have that automated. Yes, okay. So polarizer. And then we need two times aluminum cable. And I want to say that our cable assembler is empty and the patterns have the fluid. I'm sure it is. I just want to double check. Yes, okay. So we'll put that in there, and that will be using the LCBR. I mean LSBR. Or the SBR, I guess, in this case, Styrene Butadiene rubber. Okay, so reactor. Oh. Aluminum wire. There we go. Surely now we can craft it. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go in the clean room. So while that crafts up, nano wafer. Okay, so the glowstone. I guess I didn't automate the liquid part. Now I don't know if I made a cell for it, but if I didn't automate the extraction, I probably didn't automate the fluid in the fluid cell. So let's get this. Andreas glowstone? Wait a minute, what? Oh, liquid glowstone. Liquid. Let's see, hold on. Can I? See, it needs 0.56. Okay, so if I take this, middle click, 0.576, I think. Yeah, 576. Okay, got it. Okay, so there we go. There's the liquid glowstone. So let me get this that pattern reset. Okay, so the liquid glowstone then is going to go fluid. And just in case, I'm going to grab another fluid cell. So that will take a minute. That, I think, is finishing up relatively. And I want to finish off this episode with getting a Nano CPU wafer or something, maybe a circuit, we'll see. So I might do some pausing more to get to that point. Okay, there we go. Glowstone. In you go. And I'll need to make some more drives too, probably. Okay. That's still being done. We still can't use the Nano CPU wafer yet. But everything about this should be good to go. Let's get the cut recipe handled. So make sure it's lubricant. And there should be the cutter. There we go. Okay, so the reactor is almost done. And then we should be able to get that set up. There we go. Over here. Now our power system seems to be doing just fine, actually. I've been watching our benzene and we have like 7,000 buckets. So I'm not concerned about power yet. I will try to check on that in a minute just to show y'all. Oop. Okay, so this is going to be E V reactor CR. And I think it's just going to be a matter of that. No fluid to eject. And put that there. Okay, so that should be powered now. So let's come over here, ask for the nano. It might be making the CPU wafer at the moment. Yeah, okay, so it's going to make that. I might need to make that happen more quickly, which we're going to need an engraver. Which I could probably make a laser engraver and put it in the clean room just for the heck of it. Like an EV engraver. But we'll see, because again, with the engraver, we need to have multiples of them. There we go. So that is crafting. That will take 6 seconds. So let me do this. Let me see. Let me look ahead here. So the Nano CPU wafer, once we cut that, then the Nano processor is next. So we're going to need... We have that. I don't think we have... Oh, we do have that, I believe. We don't have this, I'm thinking. Gallium and tantalum. Yeah, that's definitely a new thing. Do I have any tantalum in the system? I technically have some. What is this tantalite? Okay. So let me do this. I'm probably going to end off this episode with just the nano... what would you call it? The chip here. And then we'll come back in the next episode and get fully into making the circuit. And at this point, moving on, I believe we would go into tungsten. Then there's the RTM alloy over here, which is ruthenium. Oh yeah, we're going to need to get into ruthenium and all that. That's probably going to be an episode on it. I'm probably going to need to set aside some time to get into the PGS or PGP or PGS, I guess. So the rhodium and the ruthenium, that's a whole thing we need to get into. We have magic acid. We need sheldonite purified, and there's a whole thing to go on to there. So I will get to that. But we can probably get tungsten at least going, carbide and down here. But yeah, we've got a lot to get processed. So I guess tungsten does lead down to tungsten steel, but also leads over into the RTM. That leads to the alloy coil, and that leads to the next tier of conduits, actually, aluminum and signium. Okay, let me pause here, and I'll be back in a few. All right, I vastly underestimated how much time I really needed. So yeah, here we have the chip. It was cut, and now I have it in my hands. So let's put that away for now. So tantalum, I'm going to have to go mining for this, or tantalite, I guess. That's going to be Overworld, Nether, or Luna, which I'm not worried about that. So somewhere in the Overworld or the Nether, I'll be going to get this stuff, and that will break down. So there's niobium, there's tantalum, tantalite. Okay, that'll be a thing I will thermal centrifuge, but I will go mining for this off camera and get that processed up. Meanwhile, this is going to be an episode for now. I will see you all in the next one. If you did enjoy, please leave a like or comment down below. And that'll be it. That's all for now.